I can't believe it's not a dream. Dr. Ronnie Masilela takes us on his life journey from struggling the moment he was born to becoming a medical doctor. This tearjerker also puts emphasis on the power of holding on to your dreams regardless of your background, upbringing and financial difficulties. Well, Dr. Masilela is in studio with us to tell us more about his book. Sir, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, Lebo. Thank you for this opportunity.
Let's talk about this book. A brief synopsis of what it's about.
This is my life story. This is my walk from my childhood up to where I am today. It has been very difficult. I am born to a very poor family, poorest of the poor. That's where I come from.
But what was the inspiration of putting it all down into a book?
The inspiration, I think many people would identify with the kind of life and background that I come from. It's very easy to give up along the way. It's very easy to say, because of my circumstances, I cannot achieve my dream. I think all of us, Lebu, we all have our dreams. And we become discouraged because of our circumstances. The essence of the book, the essence of my life, the essence of my life story, and the purpose thereof is to encourage other South Africans, everybody, but mainly black South Africans, because I think many of them would identify with my circumstances, to say to all of us, despite the kind of background that you come from, your circumstances, your background should never determine who you will ultimately become. Now,
you put a lot of emphasis on dream catcher, the difference between a dream catcher and a daydreamer. What is that concept?
A daydreamer, I would say, in my view, I may be correct, I may be incorrect, but then a daydreamer is a person who just wishes to have something. You have this utopia, you have this fantasy that you're dreaming about. But a dream catcher is a person who will stand up despite the circumstances to say, I want to be this, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor, and I pulled all the stops to become one.
But what kept you going, even when it was tough?
What kept me going was the realization that I've got no other choice. There was nothing else that was going to extricate me. There was nothing else that was going to save me from the situation that I was in at the time. It was very bad, to be a child who hasn't got a happy childhood like any other child. I was not like other children. The purpose of the life of a child is supposed to be a happy life. You have your parents around you. Daddy, I want this. Daddy, can I please have this? The word daddy never featured in my vocabulary. I had grandparents from abject poverty. And I was not like other children. And that realization that I am not like other people. I want to be a better person somewhere along my life, somewhere along the pathway of life. And I had to work hard. And I realized that the only way for me to achieve that was to get an education. And the education that I wanted at the time, because my grandmother and my grandfather, both of them died, and I loved them dearly. I didn't want them to die. My grandmother died in 1971. I was about 15, 16 years old. And I was, there were family problems. And subsequent to that, then I had to become a breadwinner at the age of 15, 16. To be a breadwinner, to look after an ailing grandfather. At the same time, also to find a way of navigating my way through life and trying to earn money to get an education, because at the time I was in Standard 6. I loved my grandmother, and I wanted to help my grandmother. And I wanted to be a doctor so that I could understand what really killed my grandmother.
What's been the response to the book?
The response to the book has been very phenomenal. People who read the book, are very much inspired. People, they also find it very difficult to understand how I survived those very difficult circumstances. People can hardly believe it, and yes, the response has been very good. And I think people do think this is a book that every South African must at least lay their hands on, so that they can learn how to how to fight on in life
Yeah.
despite all the difficulties.
All right. Dr. Ronnie Masilela, thank you so much. Such an inspiring story. He's speaking to us about his autobiography. It's titled, I Can't Believe It's Not a Dream. A read that takes us on the author's life journey from having nothing to achieving his dreams. Very, very inspiring book.